Hi, and welcome to another episode of Find Your Purpose podcast. And I'm here with Delith, who is a guide, and we're going to be talking all things purpose. So, the first question I have to ask you is, did you always want to be a guide?
Oh, thank you, Jo, and absolutely lovely to be here. Have I always wanted to be a guide? I feel looking back to when I was, say, 16, that I was very drawn to therapeutic solutions. So I wanted to become a physiotherapist. Now I didn't. My life meandered. And then, 10 years later, I did some training in shiatsu. Then I trained in nutritional therapy. Then I trained in more energetic based work. Then in trauma resolution. And so I call myself a guide because I like to guide women to their own inner guidance and to come into their body. And I very much guide them through a process because I'm not a therapist as such, it's therapeutic work. But if I track it back, there was always a desire to be of service, I guess, in my own way, to become a part of the therapeutic arts.
Yes. So,
So
how did you recognize you had a desire to do that?
I was drawn. So I was drawn into these things. And
Mm.
for a very long time, I had, two parts of me. So I had this very therapeutic side. And then I had the side that was working in offices and going out and partying. So I had a wild side. And then I
Interesting.
had this therapeutic, space holding, naturally curious
Mm.
side to me that would come out quite a lot. I was inquisitive and I could see what was going on with people.
Wow, you sound very intuitive, and even from a young age. Where do you think that comes from?
I feel that was or is my nature.
Mm.
And I actually feel it's all of our natures. Um, But the more I guess I delved into that therapeutic side, the more it just naturally came through.
Right.
And I had a framework then for it to come through. And I feel that the more I did my own inner work,
Yeah.
the more that I could trust that or explore it.
Mm.
And in terms of purpose, I guess that is part of my purpose to help women to actually begin to trust their own inner self, their own inner guidance, and their own wisdom, and trusting that they have resilience to move through what they need to move through in order to get to here.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about the inner work, because I
Mm.
think it's a good topic to discuss. Tell me a little bit more about that. What define inner work?
I guess for me, it's that expansion of self awareness and the willingness to look at things you may not want to look at about yourself.
Mm.
The shadow, the inner child, of which they really can intertwine, and the openness to see where we are contributing to a lot of our patterns that we experience with others, and to take self responsibility for our part of things, and to develop that self love and compassion, because at the beginnings, I found that very hard. when I started to do the inner work. Well, I didn't consciously do the inner work.
Mm,
I
mm.
went through an experience where I would say years or decades of repressed information just started to come out.
Same.
Yeah, so in the form of um, very heightened anxiety,
So what would you say the benefits are of doing this inner work?
maturing,
Mm,
actually becoming a woman. And I
great.
can look back and see where I was being a child, or a teenager in an adult body,
Mm,
and really allow myself in my own methods to go through, I guess, a developmental process. So
yeah,
developing and really changing the beliefs about myself and about others,
mm,
and facing myself essentially.
yeah. Why do you think we need to do that to help us evolve and grow into the person? Because we're not that young person anymore when we become an adult, are we?
No,
Is that one of the reasons why it would be of benefit to do this inner work?
I think it's a benefit for you to be able to actualize your desires, your true desires
Mm,
that actually lie in your heart. And, I guess coming to purpose is what lies in one's heart. And that's very unique and personal. What lies in my heart requires me to grow up,
yeah,
not sabotage or think I'm not good enough. And really, Joe, until very recently, this summer, I had to, really process a part of myself that did not feel good enough to
yeah.
do the
I
work I
hear
wanted
you.
to do.
Oh my God, this summer has been one of those kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, I really hear you. So do you do this kind of work? You talked about the women that you work with. Tell me a little
Mm,
bit more about that.
mm. So I had an insecure attachment called anxious attachment, which I have healed in myself, and I now feel securely attached. So I help women really with attachments, trauma on a one-to-one basis. And then in a group, I have a membership, and this work is really about them becoming more secure in themselves, but using a different framework, essentially. That's a process that they can do at home, and then we come together in a community to support each other. But
Mm,
essentially, both solutions are for insecure women, because that was me, sensitive women, empathic women, to become more secure into their bodies and to embrace their confidence for who they are.
mm,
And it's then that we can really fulfill our purpose, whatever that is,
mm,
in a different way. We're not coming from the wounds. We actually then start to come
mm.
from that authentic space. It's taken me a long time, Joe. It's still ongoing.
Me too. So
Yeah.
we're so oh my God, absolutely. I just hear you so much on so many levels. So top tip time. So
Mm.
what top tips can you give for someone going on this journey of perhaps not having any purpose to wanting to find a real deep sense of purpose?
I think it's number one, self-awareness. Really
Mm,
spending time with yourself and contemplating about what's important to you and what your values are.
I'm hearing this a lot.
And number two is, what do you love
Mm,
doing and what really gives you joy? And where does that overlap with what you're innately gifted at? Because we all have our natural gifts and talents. That's what makes the world interesting, isn't it? So it's that, and then if you can tap into the crossover of what you love to do and what you're innately gifted at, and then place your focus there. And that's a process.
It is, isn't it? It's a process because you need to perhaps learn some skills, you
Mm,
know, and grow in confidence and also have the right people around you to nurture it, to
mm,
help you to believe in yourself.
yeah.
Really does. So what are you working on right
Mm,
now?
okay. Well, in about 2 weeks, I have a free event, an online event, which is how to become a secure and confident woman. So this is designed for these women that feel insecure, not confident in themselves. They may put themselves down, doubt themselves. They may be going through big life changes, so feeling lost. And this is an event, it's an hour long, where I'm going to share some secrets about actually how you can become more secure, but with very little time and without spending a lot of money.
Amazing, fantastic. So where can people find you to hear more about the event?
Sure. So I'll give you the URL. It's secureinself.com/free event. Or you can come and find me on Facebook, Delith Johnson, or Instagram, Delith Johnson. I'm even on TikTok. I just started on
Me
TikTok.
too.
It's actually quite fun.
I dip in and out of that one. What I'll do is I've got your link and I'll drop
Okay.
it under the video, and then when we share this, people will be able to find it. I
Mm.
could talk to you for ages, but I perhaps
Mhm.
we can connect again next
I'd
year,
love
see how you're doing, and
that.
revisit. So I just want to say thank you so much for what you're doing for women, and thank you so much for your time. I really, really have enjoyed it, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jo. I've loved it, and I could talk to you for hours.
Me too. Okay, then bye for now. Take
Thank you. Bye bye.